Yeah, my
My
brother in
brother in
CK. Yeah.
CK.
I was like, my brother banana to go and play phone up
Yeah.
to
This episode is brought to you by Tropical Blends Cafe, Rapid Response Recovery, Chanelli 767, Connect 767, and Grace and Glamour.
Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of Parlé. Of course, it's your juicy girl Cranberry, and I'm here with the man himself, Sheldon Alfred. What's going on, Shelly?
Well, I'm good enough. I'm grateful to be on Parley, so I can Parley today.
Yeah. We're going to Parlé. I am excited to have you here. I wanted to have you on Parley since season 1, but you ended up rushing out after Carnival, so we didn't get a chance. But thanks to COVID-19, you're back in Dominica.
It's positive,
Yeah. So at least something good came out of this. I'm my interview with Shelly.
Yeah.
But Shelly, what's going on?
Well, I'm just here. To be honest, all that's going on with me right now is a lot of brand building around the brand Shelly, and whether that is through my music or design or whatever, like part of it's just me. I'm trying to just focus on me for some time now, because I believe focusing on me will then trickle down to everything I'm involved in. It will benefit, Yeah.
Okay, Shelly is a household name, but for folks who do not know about Shelly and Sheldon Alfred, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, Shelly is a songwriter, artist, musician, and designer out of Goodwill, Dominica, and currently residing in Boston. Half and half because of I'm not sure where I'm residing right now, but and I'm co-founder and lead singer of Signal Band, and pretty much my life is just surrounded around mainly music and architecture. Like, that's just me. There's people call it the two sides of me.
Right.
So my life is about music and design, pretty much.
Okay. How long have you been involved in music?
Right now it's 13 years. Yes, I started at age 12.
Yeah.
In elementary school, primary school, and sometimes it seems like it was just the other day, but that's a long time.
And for you youngins who might not know, Shelly was junior monarch for several years under the name The Professor. Shelly, take us back in time to your days as The Professor, and how did being junior monarch and being involved in Calypso, how did that help to bring you to where you are right now?
Well, as I had a conversation yesterday with someone, I was telling them that I think my involvement in music is rooted in Calypso, because they were wondering the reason why I sing soca really well. They were like, I feel like you sing soca really nice, and I was like, I think I owe that to my involvement in Junior Calypso and Calypso on a whole, that not only am I really used to singing by myself on a stage, which is very important in building my confidence, and which is why I'm at the point where I can embark on a journey of being an artist, by myself. It's because I started off by myself, and so starting off in Calypso really laid a good foundation for me. Also in the sense that Calypso is a singing competition.
Yeah.
And I didn't enter music trying to get popularity and all of that. I was in a competition. I was trying to win based on singing.
Right.
So right now I can sing.
Yeah.
But
so you could sing then too.
I could sing then too.
Winning.
So then, but from the first day that I entered the competition compared to the day that I won, because I sang 2 years before I won. And 1 year I didn't place. The other year I placed 4th runner-up. I think they made a place for me that year because there were a lot of competitors that year. So I think that being a singing competition has allowed me to understand that anytime I enter a stage or studio, I am here to sing and perform and entertain.
Okay. And what was it like for you, transitioning from being, the Americans would say it's like a child star. You were a child star.
Yeah.
The professor was a child
Yeah,
star.
I was, yeah.
Everybody was the professor, the professor. But what was it like for you, transitioning from Junior Monarch, becoming an adult and continuing in music? What was it like transitioning from the professor to Shelly?
I would say I owe that a lot to the fact that I went to study. Because I went to study, I kind of had to detach from Calypso. And I mean, I always had my reservations about Calypso and that I enjoy it a lot, but I find it was too seasonal and I didn't want to be part of something that was seasonal. So then I was always thinking of how I could possibly maybe change the Calypso game and make it year-round. But then I was like, maybe that's too hard to do. Maybe I could change something about me, and make myself be a year-round artist and just be involved in Calypso as well. I will always pay respect to my roots, but I wanted to be a year-round artist. And I think the opportunity came when I went to study, when I could literally, by default, had to pull away from Calypso because I wasn't there to compete. And at that moment, I started to think about what is my brand going to be like, if I move away from Calypso. I cannot move away from Calypso and still be the professor, probably singing Booyo and all that. I was like, I don't feel that name has a buzz,
Right.
But the Shelly was always there for the buzz because, from my friends calling me Shelly, and then the season that I was playing with Triple K, Shelly just became a vibe.
Right.
So I figured I had to capitalize on that, and that was a good way to sort of step away from the Professor title and move into an official brand of Shelly. Right now, if I go back into Calypso, my name will be Shelly.
we will leave the Professor in the back then.
Yeah, we will, yeah.
Leave the Professor to take his childhood shine.
Yep.
Now we on to big and better things. The adult is Shelly.
Yep.
But Shelly, you mentioned having done a stint with Triple K Band. How did that relationship come about?
Back to Junior Calypso. Back to Junior Calypso. It started off in Junior Calypso when Triple K was the backup band for Junior Monarch for years.
Right.
And all the years that I competed, they were the backup band there. And at the same time, I was learning to play guitar. I was going to guitar lessons with Tyson Johnson and Diane Charles. And I think one of those days, it's either that Kendall used to see me with my guitar going to class, or I came to a Junior Monarch practice with my guitar. It could be either of those. But
right.
The fact was, he saw me with my guitar, and that day he saw me with my guitar, he made the statement that, "You have to come play for Triple K one day, And I just laughed. And I laughed because, and I want to say why I laughed, because at that point I was like, yeah, my brother in CK. I was like, my brother band, I want to go and play for, not Triple K. And it was the year that I stopped singing, which was 2012, because I was heading to CXC, and my mother was like, no Junior Monarch. Those parents, they're serious about their CXC.
Now it's time for books.
Yeah, so my mother didn't allow me to compete that year, but Triple K asked me to play the guitar for the competition for that year. And then after that, they just, I guess they love the energy and the vibe that I brought around. And the talks were that from the moment I finished CXC, I have to start playing for the band. And that's just pretty much what happened. From the moment I was done with high school, that was like my graduation gift,
Okay.
Yeah.
But there has been a rumor, because back in those times, there was a huge rivalry between WCK Band, which is a band that your older brother Deli is in, and Triple K Band. There was a rumor that you were roped into Triple K Band so that you could throw Deli off his game. It's like, is there any truth to that, Shelly?
If there may be, being part of the game right now and part of the game at that level right now, I wouldn't put anything past any Booyah band in Dominica. I will be very honest, but I have no proof that was the point of the exercise. Meaning to say that Triple K Band never expressed that was their intention.
Right.
And you know, we never had any solid plans that, yo, we bring you here to over for your brother and all that, you know. And it may have not happened naturally, but that's music for you. And the Booyah game is this weird, you know. Some things, there are lots of rumors embedded within the industry, and some things we'll never know if it's true or not.
But how would you say that your stint with Triple K molded you, you know, to venture out into doing Booyah and being a Booyah artist, being the founding member of a Booyah band? Would you say that your stint with them had an influence on you changing your path?
Yes and no at the same time. Yes, in the sense that well, I'll start with no first. No, in the sense that Signal Band was already formed before I started playing for Triple K.
Okay.
And but I was a guitarist in Signal Band at the time, so I was playing guitar for Signal Band. And somewhere during the transition of me being in Triple K, I transitioned into a lead singer in Signal Band. That was a more complicated situation where I became the lead singer of Signal Band. But like Triple K had no part in me becoming the lead singer of Signal Band. I would say what Triple K had a part to play in that is that the band exposed me to a lot of experiences.
Right.
You know, I toured with the band for 3 to 4 years, and I must say it was a lot of great experience and exposure that I surely can say that it shaped my outlook on music, and not just seeing it on a local level, but seeing sometimes what it takes to go out there. And I mean, I always say, like, I think it taught me some of the do's and some of the don'ts as well.
Right.
You know, and I am thankful for the experience. I think I would have been a different person without that experience, for sure.
Okay. And who would you say are some of your biggest influences, be it musically or otherwise?
Musically, I value more on a business level. I value the intelligence and the wisdom of Gordon Henderson. You know, based on I haven't been, like, on a personal level, we haven't had a relationship for very long, but just the time that we have had that relationship made me see why I admire him from a distance.
Right.
And then when I got to know him on a personal level, the amount that he has taught me about the business of music, you know, we understand that there are two sides to music. There's the art and there's the business, and he has taught me so much about both of them. But I value more even the business, because sometimes that's the part that you wouldn't get anybody to mentor you about. And then on a brand level and larger than life presentation vibe, DJ Khaled. I have a thing for DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled in the way that he just promotes himself and always presents himself larger than life, and but at the same time not in a cocky way, because he's a very spiritual person, always thankful, you know, always you know, from the moment he sell out or he get gold on any record, he thanks God, you know, but at the same time he will let you know that the next hit is another one.
And another one.
You know, it's another one. So I admire that confidence and humility at the same time. I admire that about DJ Khaled. Yeah.
Okay. And what would you say motivates you to continue doing music? Because people would say that being an artist or being a musician or being in the creative industry on a whole in Dominica, it's tough. And what motivates you to keep doing this? And do you share that sentiment that, you know, doing music in Dominica doesn't make sense, which is what a lot of people say?
Yeah, I don't share the sentiment that it doesn't make sense. It makes a lot of sense to me, and the reason I keep doing it and I'm motivated to do it is because I think I am not a regular person. I was sent to make a difference, and I think, like, all change and evolution starts with someone, you know, and I might be the person for Dominica to change the outlook, and I have that hope. You know, something has to happen to really crash me down, you know, and I think that is death, to be honest. Like, I feel the only thing right now to stop me is the absence of life. So right now, as long as I have life, I believe I have a purpose, and it might take some time, and I think that's what we lack a lot. A lot of us lack the patience to understand that music takes time.
It doesn't happen overnight.
It doesn't happen overnight, but you also have to. It's not just a matter of just being a musician and waiting to see what happens.
No.
You have to put in the work.
Yep.
So right now, for me, it's about putting in the work, being positive, and not telling myself that it had to be a musician in Dominica. Granted that it might be, like, I will never let that leave my mouth, because the power of the tongue translates to my mind, and I don't want that to happen to me.
All right. So you were one of the. You've been solo. You started solo as the professor. You went to playing guitar with Triple K. You were a founding member of Signal Band, but as a guitarist, how did you transition from guitarist back to center stage as lead singer?
Yeah, I think it happened when the band was starting to, like, Signal Band is 10 years old right now. But there was some time during our career that we realized that, hey, all the fun and games kind of over, because we were seeing great potential in ourselves. And people were seeing it in us as well.
And everybody in the band was growing up.
Everybody,
you're adults
exactly,
now.
and the kids, literally we started the band, I was 14 years old when we started that band. Yeah. And I mean, when later in my teenage years, we started to realize the promise of the band, so we started to talk about the band's image and all of that.
Right.
And the vote of the band was just that Shelly is the best image for the band. And they were just like, we started to understand that image is everything, and these guys pushed me to the front, and they were like, you don't just come with the image and the absence of talent. You have the image and you have the talent,
right.
And you're used to being on stage by yourself from Calypso and all of that. So, I mean, we had other lead singers, but I believe that the strength of a lead singer is to understand that he's able to do it by himself, but he will do it better with others.
Yeah.
So I transitioned into lead singer, and from then I realized that was my sweet spot. I was like, oh, that's where I need to be. There was a moment where I thought I was a guitarist, but I don't think I'm a guitarist. I call myself a musician because I know the importance of playing the guitar has helped me a lot. I understand music, I understand the theory of music, I understand harmonies, I understand that different notes make a chord.
Right.
And I owe that completely to my knowledge of the guitar and music theory. But I am by no means a guitarist. I'm an artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shelly, the artist.
Yes.
The guitar might come in now and then, but
yeah.
Shelly.
And now we're trying to bring back the guitar through Signal Band, because we tried it out a few times on a Creole Festival, and we realized that looking back at the video, that just gives the band a unique look.
It was hot. It was hot, and I can't lie.
Yeah, man, trust me. That when I look back at that, I was like, yo, fellas be looking huge.
That is true. You guys really put on a show for Creole Festival. But what was it like for you though to see, your band coming from way back then when you guys were just kids in high school, trying to do something, to now being a member of a band that is a household name. Everybody is talking about Signal Band. What was it like for you guys to be performing on that stage and seeing so many people excited about seeing what was once called the Big Little Band putting on a top class performance? It's not, you guys cannot be called the Little Band anymore.
I don't want it.
You have grown up.
Yeah.
That is no more. 10 years you cannot still be little.
Yeah, you cannot be little. Trust me. And I think that performance, and even this era of sort of the rise to stardom of Signal Band, is very emotional for all of us. And I think it's because, as you know, Cranberry, Signal Band is a sort of a difference in the music of Dominica. Yes, we play bouillon and all that, but we have faced the challenge of not being mainstream bouillon.
Right.
We never came and we were like just adding to the pot of bouillon that was there. We were coming and try to add an identity of ourselves, but also the mission was to understand that Bouillon needed a little fixing, you know, and we wanted to be part of that movement. No, we cannot do it by ourselves, but we wanted to be part of the movement of sort of ensuring that Bouillon has a really marketable face.
Right.
And that was the hardest thing for us. So understanding that there are artists and bands that will come, there might be bands and artists that come next year and might be more popular than Signal Band. But when we understand that the years that we went through of brand building and trying to let people know that this is us were very important, and it was really emotional to see that pay off, because sometimes people give up along the way on those kind of missions, you know. You tell yourself like, boy, I trying, but I trying to be different, and people just not buying into it. We had our years of that, but because we kept on doing it, and you realize that you get to a point where it's almost like events like the World Creole Music Festival. Yes, it's not our event, so they don't must call us to play. But if they don't call us, we know that there'll be a little uproar. People will start to question. So when you get to that point of household identity, then you realize that okay, you really did some good groundwork, and you put a staple onto your identity. So that was very important for us, and it's filled with emotions for me because I didn't expect it to work, to be honest.
But you see, that is the definition of hard work paying off. Signal Band and consistency.
Definitely.
Not making what others say change your mindset and change the image that you have of yourself. And I remember when I interviewed you all after your performance at Creole Festival, I was so happy to interview you all, and I was so happy, to see the band doing so many huge things. And one of the things that I like a lot about Signal Band is that the band does a lot. Even behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes,
The band does a lot. And I remember you guys saying that, you're not the typical Bouillon band. Your type of music is Bouillon love. And that is the type of thing that you are trying to push out there. And it's working.
Yes, definitely. And it took some, as I said, it took some time to penetrate, but right now it's there, and it has a long way to go as well. But the point is, the point that's gotten to shows that it has the ability to go further. Okay,
so we're going to stray from Signal Band and come back to Shelly. How would you describe your song, Shelly? The artist Shelly, the musician Shelly?
I would say that before we go into my song, my craft is one of sort of taking the Signal Band step further of the Bouillon love. I think I have a more dramatic love song. I will take on a few topics that are more personal to me and can be felt on a personal level of the individual. Signal Band will take on something of the masses, for example, and I would take on something of the individual, like, for a moment I was riding on the idea of a go well, and I like the drama. I like love and drama. So that is what and then in terms of the sound of that itself, like I'm a guy of melodies, and I believe in the ability of having a refrain, and I always, for me, a song is not successful if I don't ask myself, okay, after the interview done, what is the part people are going to keep on singing of my song? And there has to be at least one part in my song that people must just keep on singing after they listen to it.
I know,
I know, please,
You guys, Shelly recently dropped a single on the Dewey Bias rhythm called Happy Place. If you look at his shirt, he's wearing a shirt Happy Place. And let me tell you all, that song, from the day the rhythm dropped, that song has been on repeat for me. That's my favorite song on the rhythm. And I messaged him to tell him that I absolutely love that song. My first vlog after the song dropped, that's my background music. And something that I love about you, Shelly, is that every time you drop a song, it is fire. Like, how do you make this happen?
Let me tell you how. First of all, I don't believe in dropping songs for the sake of dropping songs. I have literally ended up in situations where I delay producers whether they know it or I tell them straight up like, yo, I'm delaying you right now because it is too soon after I just released a song. or sometimes I just do it and they don't realize. But it's all for the greater good, because I believe that one technique that I use, which is not a secret recipe, is that I believe for every song there's a pre-release marketing period and a post-release marketing period. I always introduce my songs, and I believe that has a huge impact. Like, having a good song is one, but the timeliness of the release is important. The marketing of the release is very important. So sometimes, there may be a good song, but because you didn't build up enough anticipation, it doesn't get there. So I don't believe like my song is too. I mean, they're very good songs. I mean, yeah, but they're very good songs. But I don't believe it's just because it's a good song. I believe it's because we look at it as a whole project. Then we understand that this project has a time that it would be good if it is released. Then this project has about few days or weeks before that we need to start talking about it. Like, people start to question like, why Shelly just keep talking about a happy place like that? What is his problem? And then I mean, the relevance and all of that comes with the production of the song, but then even after the song you have to keep on producing. And then another thing is, I've told myself that I will not I mean, outside of the fact that every time I write music I think of a video while I write the song, because I'm trying to visualize the actual situation every time I write. That's how I write. But I always try right now, especially with the new age, we in 2020, people listen to singles, yes, but they want to see, and I understand the importance of visuals. And if you look back, every single release make past 5 to 7 releases come with a video. And that also helps how much it goes further. So
so do you write all your songs?
Yes, I do. I actually get help. I have a sort of a formal and an informal team of, my formal team, maybe more of the business side, but in my informal team of the people that I usually just, if I get an idea, I just bounce it off of them. And sometimes I get a line or 2 or 3, or sometimes people just give me a topic to write on, and then I would give them writers credit for that, because obviously they're part of the product. But primarily I've been writing most of it, all of my songs.
Do you write for other people as well?
Yes, I have. I find it very, very difficult to do, I'll be very honest. And that is kind of the challenge I'm starting to give myself, to open myself to writing more for other people, because I think that will strengthen my skill itself. Okay,
so earlier on in the interview, you spoke about continuing to build your brand Shelly outside of Signal Band, your brand. What sort of steps are you taking to build your brand?
Well, we have a long-term plan, because right now I'm in university. I'm completing my master's degree in architecture, and right now all the planning we're doing is post-graduation planning. And it entails website launch and other. I mean, I don't want to say too much about it, but there will be a range of launches that will show people that I'm not just trying to come and say like, okay, I'm a full-time artist now. It's actual proof that you'll be taking this to the next level. And so it comes with album launch, it comes with website launch, and some other launches and launches and launches. No breakfast, but lunch. A lot of lunch.
A lot of lunches.
No breakfast, but lunches. Yeah.
So you're completing your master's in architecture. Do you see yourself balancing music and architecture? How is that going to work out?
Yeah, I don't believe in balance. I just do both of them to the best of my ability. So yeah, I usually say like, when you think of balance, sometimes it might mean that I give 70% of myself to music and I give 30% of myself to architecture. At the end of the day, it makes 100, so I think I'm balancing it. But I believe in just putting 100% forward in both, because I'm doing my master's at Harvard University, and a lot of people say that you have never stopped doing music. So they're trying to understand where along the way that I put myself in the position to be enrolled at the #1 university in the United States. And I was just like, that's because I was all the time I still putting my best foot forward in school. Because I'm passionate. I'm not just going to school. I am passionate about design, and I think it's because I understand it's an art, and that's why I'm able to do these things together, because I understand that architecture is an art, design is an art, music is also an art.
Right.
You know, and the final product is just different. You know, for architecture, it's actually tangible. You know, we can hold it.
Right.
Music, you cannot hold it. But yeah.
So you're just an artist all around.
All around, you know, basically.
Yeah.
To be honest, I just go forward, and it's been like that for a few years. When I found love in architecture, I'm just like, I'm not going to let go of music, but I'm very curious about architecture and I want to pursue it.
Okay. Cool. Well, good luck to you in both fields.
Both worlds,
I
yeah.
mean, you already doing it on the music scene, and I have no doubt that you'll be doing just as well on the architectural side of things.
Yeah.
But Shelly, for people who, you know, not yet in tune with you, where can they find you on social media?
Please, everywhere. Okay, so you can find me on Instagram at Shelly_Alfred. Find me on Facebook. My fan page is Shelly. You can find me on Twitter at Shelly_Alfred as well. You can find me, well, you can subscribe. I still fall under the brand on YouTube. It's still a Signal Band Official. So Signal Band Official is the YouTube channel to follow. And for bookings, you can contact my manager, Janani Robinson, at 767-277-8400. You can also email signaltheband@gmail.com.
And where can they find your music?
Our music is available on all streaming platforms, streaming and download platforms. Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, YouTube Music. Just said Signal Band. Some may fall under the umbrella of Shelly. So it's Shelly, Signal Band, Stint Music. Also our merch. Once you enter any whole social media page, you will get the links for the merch.
So do you have merch that is specific to Shelly?
Yeah, I also like this is a specific Shelly merch. So I have specific Shelly merch and there is Signal Band merch. To be honest, we try to sometimes separate the brand, but sometimes it just happens that it just and I mean, and that's perfectly fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But you still stand out on your own. But you know, you grew up with your band, so anytime somebody hears Shelly, Signal Band will always be in the picture.
Yeah, I see some people will call it, when I just started you know, pushing the Shelly brand, people were like, Shelly went solo, man. You know? And I was like, you know, that's how we knew it. Once you see an artist begin, especially a former member of a band, starts pushing his name individually, you think that, whoa, that band break up and, you know, they've gone solo. Yeah. But now everything is perfectly fine in Signal Band, and we also understand that me building my brand as the image of the band, me building my brand will obviously positively affect the band.
Exactly. Yeah. Because, you know, if you're building your band, you're Shelly. Shelly might be getting a gig somewhere, but Shelly's band is Signal. Yeah. So Signal still in play.
And there's a lot of precedent for that. Yeah. Marshall Montano did just that. So just
exactly.
keep that in mind. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
But Shelly, it has been awesome having you here on Parlé with me. It was long overdue. Overdue.
I couldn't wait to Parlé.
I know, and we've been Parlé.
Yeah.
But any last words to your fans out there?
Well, I mean, firstly, gratitude is a must. So I'd like to thank them for the support, and I will also open arms and welcoming the potential supporters and the potential fans, because they are coming. Like, it's a good period for my career, and I can see a lot of the fans coming, and I appreciate all of them. I'd like to thank them for supporting me, you know, thank Mosai for the support, and thank my team. Like, at the end of the day, that's who we know, that will make me. The fans, the team, the Mosai.
Alright, so guys, make sure you go and follow Shelly. If you're not doing that yet, follow Shelly on all social media platforms. Follow his band, Signal Band, so you're always up to date on what's going on with him, the brand Shelly, and Signal Band. And of course, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. I really don't know what you're waiting for. So hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications every time I upload a new video. And of course, stay tuned to Parlé, because you never know who we might be chopping it up with next. Until the next episode,